Honolulu has a lot of potential as a city, which is why it makes it extra disappointing when it keeps doing stuff like this. Indeed, the city is full of bad roads. I wanted to set out and find the worst roads in Honolulu and definitively name the worst of the worst, so my boyfriend and I took to the streets as real-life third-person video game characters to do just that. The first stop on our list is, while not the worst, certainly one of the strode intersections of Honolulu. Now, this footage was recorded a few months before the new Chick-fil-A opened up, but it has since only made the area much worse on the traffic front. Chick-fil-A aside, though, this intersection just sucks. I mean, check out the pedestrian experience.
Wow, this is great. Love this.
Ironically enough, though, one of the stroads that makes up this intersection is one of the most enjoyably walkable streets of this part of Honolulu. Go figure, the monkey pod trees make it a lot nicer. I wonder what that's about. Our next location on the tour takes us to what many people refer to as the worst street in all of Hawaii, Lunalilo Street. This glorified freeway on-ramp of a street is named after King Lunalilo. Known as the People's King, he sought to democratize the Hawaiian throne and died only a year into office. In the years since annexation, he was fittingly honored by having a freeway named after him in the very American spirit, as the H1 or Lunalilo Freeway going above is called. You'll find the first horrible backups on Pi'ikoi Street where everybody's trying to get on the freeway. Oh, and don't you worry, the pedestrian experience sucks here too.
Oh, that smells great.
Now compare that with this shot of Lunalilo from the mid-50s, and I wonder what's changed. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you, they really did put a post office underneath the freeway. It's alright, a little dystopian, but kinda neat for what it is, I guess. This end really is just an on-ramp to the freeway, and people really just treat it as such. And going all the way to the other end, it really doesn't get any better, with one of the most depressing frontage roads I've ever seen. This does, of course, quickly segue into our next location, the notorious U-turn on Ke'eaumoku Street to the freeway, where we promptly saw this as soon as we arrived.
Oh my god, this tow truck. What? Yeah, no, he has to run it wide. Go, girl, go, go, go!
This is crazy.
Yes, sir.
Word.
That's right, if you ever wanted to U-turn across 2 lanes of fast-moving traffic to get on the freeway, the city of Honolulu has you covered. And if you thought that was bad, just wait till you see what it's like walking over the thing. You're treated to scenic views of the freeway, though that sunset is really pretty. And this skate park underneath the overpass is kinda dystopian, but kinda metal at the same time.
Sick.
Another on the worst offenders list is the freeway itself, which bisects the largely residential areas from the largely commercial areas, and honestly makes the area altogether more unpleasant than it need be. This photo from 1950 shows the area before it was built, and that red line is the path of the future freeway. On top of the reasons to hate this thing, it is literally cursed. There were bones of ancient Hawaiian kanaka oiwi found when it was constructed, though it does share this in common with the H201, the H2, and the H3. One reason to hate it in the modern day is this bus stop, which I think is extra particularly stupid out in the middle of the freeway overpass. Our next stop is the wonderful Kina'u Street on the other side of the freeway. Fitting, as it complements Lunalilo Street running in the opposite direction, Kina'u Street is thematically named after another royal, Kina'u, who was Kuhino Nui of the Kingdom of Hawaii as Ka'ahumanu II. Her father was King Kamehameha I, and now we have a traffic jam named after her. Aside from all that, there's nothing truly atrocious about the actual shape or design of this street, it just is a mess. Immediately adjacent, we find our next point of contention with the city where... what is this? It's a little tougher to see because trees do hide some sins, but in this drawing here, all the roads are laid out in red, and that little yellow shaded bit is actually the original butt end of Honolulu that they severed. This was a wild and inefficient layout even before the freeway cut through. It takes up a lot of space that could really much better be used as a community garden or public plaza, so I can't advocate for any of this, as silly and entertaining to witness as it is. No matter what nasty name I may want to give it, it'll forever be known to us as Ray's intersection because of exactly what transpired after this.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
If you understand, I just wanted to let you know.
Meet Ray.
Getting footage of this crazy intersection.
It is.
He proceeded to give us an intimate history of the neighborhood, which was far too cool for us to pass up.
1938, that was called the Alapai Cafe. It used to be a corner coffee shop.
Including lusty tales of winning and losing houses in poker games.
And then a year later, he lost the house in a poker game.
We also learned exactly why the memory of the cafe is so near and dear to his heart.
And he met my mother when she was a waitress at this Alapai Cafe.
Oh.
That wasn't all he shared with us, though.
Okay, you see this stop sign?
Yes.
It says no left turn on the Lucid Channel.
You've seen this.
Like these left turners, which happened while we were standing there. Leaving Ray as the two newest members of his fan club, we headed to our next spot, the chaotic five-way intersection at Victoria. It is quite hot. I have a personal vendetta against this one because I used to live in that brown building, but that's besides the point. This intersection is chaotic, it's a weird shape, and that's not even it. The thing is just really wide and a lot of asphalt. While we were able to capture this uncle's struggle across the intersection, it was a little difficult to capture this intersection in full. Not nearly as much as this one, which we couldn't safely capture. The Alexander Street on-ramp is a perpendicular onto the H1, known for causing accidents. A lot of people don't know there used to be another set just like it further down on Makiki Street, however these have since been fenced off. The remnants are still there though, in the form of a weird Y-shaped cul-de-sac. And finally on the list of the hard to record is the University Street on-ramps, notorious for causing accidents with their tight configuration and right angle turns. Something we were able to film though is... whatever this is. I'm honestly at a loss for words at this point. I'm mainly focusing on doing larger roads and places where traffic gets insane, but this one is just insane enough to count, and we even see one of the denizens of Honolulu cutting the lines. In an era when we're talking about bioswales and how much pavement affects runoff, this just seems really silly. Not to even mention how little use this intersection gets. Our next stop on Satan's Bar Crawl takes us to the five-way intersection at the corner of University, King, and Beretania, and this one is just such a mess of Strode. I mean, just seeing the bus fills me with serotonin, but even it can't save this intersection. It is such a dreadful sight. Side note, this building used to be Glenn Grant's bookstore and coffee shop, The Haunt. Further down the street, we have objectively one of the silliest. The King Street spaghetti? What do you call this? It's not very inviting from a pedestrian standpoint. It tends to back up from the freeway like this, and for an intersection that's weirdly composed of sidewalk, there isn't a lot of sidewalk where you really want to walk. Especially of note are this trio of manila palms that were planted in the teardrop-shaped turnaround area that, I don't know, there's something particularly entertaining about them. But the traffic bearing down on you from the freeway exit sure adds to the character of the intersection. This thing is just so genuinely dreadful, and it kind of segues into our next entrance, which is... I don't know. It's very I play city skylines, urban design is my passion. I mean, just look at these nightmare flyovers. The pedestrian situation here is pretty dire, and though we didn't film it, there was a woman getting arrested under the overpass, which made getting in there a little difficult to film further. Suffice to say, I hate this intersection. I legitimately avoid this part of town on foot. Peak Oahu urbanism, I guess. This one's so big we even have to highlight a second part of it. Here we have the freeway exits to nowhere. On the freeway ramps, you can see the scars of when the city was preparing to actually go through with Helen Morita's horrifying proposal of the Mackay Arterial. I just can't begin with how happy I am that this never came to be. You can see it a bit from ground level if you know what you're looking at, but the city's done a pretty good job of hiding it with trees. The six-way intersection of doom on Kapi'olani is our next stop, and it's quite a competitor itself. This intersection is so unfriendly to pedestrians, and it's near one of the most famous schools in the city. At least it's kind of fun to watch the buses glide through the chaos. Shout out to Gillig. Our next stop takes us to McCulley Street, where this is happening. Even before you get down there, the walk over the flyover is really claustrophobic against the traffic. You do get some views of the frankly insane frontage road along the freeway where houses are right against traffic, though. But the actual intersection? Kinda scary as a pedestrian. There's so many cars whipping around different corners at weird angles, and you can bet there's plenty of accidents that happen at this intersection. Is it the worst? Maybe not, but I try to avoid it. Our next stop is where the Pali Highway bisects Kuakini Street. This one was so unfriendly to pedestrians that they just built a sky bridge for it. Thankfully, traffic was kinda light and we didn't have to watch anybody risk their lives cutting in, but you can see how it makes for some pretty dangerous situations. Ironically though, once we were down on the sidewalk, walking next to the Pali Highway, it wasn't that bad. It was one of the widest sidewalks in the city, and that really kind of compensated for the traffic noise. As we walked, we came to our next stop, which I always refer to as Baby's First On-Ramp. This was the product of the State Highway Department trying to build a freeway flyover before they had received interstate standards, and it sure looks like it. And as you get closer to it, it gets significantly worse. The pavement gets smaller, and they put you in this fenced-in part that is meant to separate, but really just kind of feels prison-like. This scenic power transformer definitely adds to the appeal. Finally, we come to this overpass in Kalihi, which seems like the essence of redundant, car-dependent infrastructure. This one isn't janky or anything in its construction, and that's kind of the problem. Why is this here? Why did we spend so much money building this additional overpass? Among its finest qualities is this one-way dead-end road with a connector that feeds into it. At least the number 2 gets to use it, and it throws a shaka, so alright. Still unimpressed. We've had a lot of really good options, from mundane to horrifying. One really stands out above the rest, though. None make me fear that part of town like our winner. This Lovecraftian nightmare of an interchange really just can't be beat. There is no other road in Honolulu that makes me dread that entire part of town and avoid it. I mean, just look at these nightmare flyovers. This video started with trying to find the worst road in Honolulu, and while it's been a fun ride, all these roads are just symptoms of a problem. A problem which started a century ago in the mind of a man named Henry Ford. With his fortune from the auto industry, he lobbied for car-dependent policy and the destruction of our transit systems. Honolulu used to have a beautiful, extensive streetcar network before this process, and I'm here to say that this current state isn't permanent. It's our duty to demand a better infrastructure, both for the Aina and for our communities. I love the bus as much as anyone else, but steel rail is 90% more efficient energy-wise and under some situations can be up to 99%. It's a no-brainer. The future is a form of transit that uses less of our island home's unsustainable energy. The future is a train which arrives at scheduled intervals and never has to wait for traffic. The future is right in front of us. Thank you for watching, and remember to thank your bus driver.